Now, let's be honest. Do you watch every new blockbuster movie that comes out? Do you feel that you have to see it? After all, we're kind of conditioned to watch new things as they come out. It's the culture doing it to us, you see. They'll tell us the movies that we should enjoy, and they'll try and push us along on that route to go and watch them. But what if you step off that conveyor belt and you actually just watch the movies that you enjoy? The answer may surprise you. Have you ever been in the situation where a friend of yours has been raving to you about a new film that's come out and you're nodding along with them? And you had seen it, but you found it a bit boring, but you don't want to say so. It's something that very many of us do, you know. Because many of us don't want to be out of the loop. We want to be part of it when friends are talking about things. And sometimes you're like on the edges. If you aren't one of those that loves the films that are out at the moment, you kind of are out of it a bit. You're not part of the clan. And it's even worse if you don't share that popular opinion on the latest blockbuster. Have you ever been in one of those positions where everybody's talking about a new film that you've all seen and you didn't like it and everybody looks aghast at you? Like you're a social pariah, if you like, because you didn't like that film that everybody else did? Because if you have, you know that it's not fun. But there's a stage that you get to where you no longer want to nod along and talk about how good something was because you just didn't like it. I think they call it performative enthusiasm. But there comes a stage, you know, when you just can't be bothered with it all, where your enthusiasm for being over enthusiastic has gone up and walked down the road, leaving you behind. There's a stage when you're with your friends and they're talking about this newest film, and you think to yourself, why am I faking this? Who am I trying to impress? And there's a good reason, you know, why people like me go back to DVDs and stay there, because we want to watch what we want to watch. And you know what's funny? When you do finally take that decision, it feels like I'm a free man. You know what I mean? You get that feeling of freedom of stop having to pretend, stopping having to say things are good because everybody says it is. And when you finally admit the things you like, the reasons you watch your DVDs, because you've got niche films, films that aren't popular with the mainstream that you like, or there's an old 40s musical that you'd rather see than the newest Super Marvel, whatever it is, adventure. And there's another good thing, you know, when you do that and you stop going to see the films like that, you can start to take your time and look at niche films and you look at films in other genres. You can start not just going to the pictures for picture's sake because people are going and watching them, but you can find your own films. There are indie cinemas out there, for example, where you can go and see something that may be a bit off the wall that you're going to like. And I know that I've done that in the past. I like foreign movies, okay? Films like Il Postino, Cinema Paradiso, Diva, Marlena. There are loads of films out there that don't generally get seen on the big screen in the multiplexes, if you like. You can find these films, many of them on DVD, Blu-ray, or whatever. And what's more, you can watch films that people broadly dislike. Bad films, but films you fancy watching, and you can watch them yourself, and you lift them areas of forced conformity because you're free now to watch the things that you watch. It sounds silly me talking about a subject like this, but what it does is it shows you that even further, you can take control of your own life and do the things that you want to do. And I'll tell you another thing. Every time that you go along with the crowd with your movies and all that sort of stuff, you're actually just putting yourself down a bit. You're conforming to something that you don't want to be. And you're maintaining a facade that you don't really need to keep anyway. It's why I've stuck with DVDs and Blu-rays. Because when I want to watch a film, I want to watch a film that I think I'm going to like. Now, if you use your own films, you know you're going to like it. In this world which is full of hatred and misery and moaning and groaning and all that sort of thing, If you're at home and you shove a DVD or a Blu-ray in and you sit back and you know you're gonna like it, it just feels lovely, doesn't it? Because you know you're gonna enjoy that next hour. It frees you up, in other areas of your life, like hobbies, like your music that you like fashion, all sorts of things that you were part of a crowd for. And then you can just take a step back and be you. And so just doing a thing like that, not pretending to like movies, for example, just to fit in with everybody else. It can have a snowball effect and it can take you another way and it can take you to lead to do the things that you really want to do. And what's more, you gain confidence from that because you're no longer pretending. You don't say to somebody, oh, this is a guilty pleasure. Because you shouldn't have guilty pleasures. You should be able to like the things that you like. And as someone who is hooked on DVDs and Blu-rays and all that physical media of mine, it's a pleasure to go out looking and finding those films that you've never seen or you have even seen and going, oh, I fancy seeing that. Oh, I want that. And knowing that not only are they only costing you pennies, you're not going to have to spend a fortune to go to the pictures and do all the associated things that you do when you get the pictures, but you can sit at home and watch it in comfort of your own home and enjoy it more than you would by going out and paying for films you don't want to see. And what you might find is you're not actually alone. There are other people out there as well who don't like the status quo really, but stay there because they feel like they're the only one that doesn't. And you'll find that there are people out there, friends of yours who you think like all those things like the new movies and that. And you find out that actually they don't. And they might like the movies that you like. And so you can share your interests with other people and know that it's okay if they don't like what you like. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Embracing your own personal tastes in your films and the movies, and as I said earlier, hobbies, fashion, music, and all that sort of thing is a strength. It's not a weakness because we become our own person in a world that is basically obsessed with trends. And there is a joy, of finding people who like you because you like what you like and you don't follow the crowd. And they like that you have your own opinions and you don't just echo everybody else's. And so just a little thing like admitting that you don't like the movies that are out at the minute, if it's something that's not for you, and you're taking your own road, it leaves you knowing that you're being your authentic self and not fitting in with a predefined mold, if you like. And that is a truly good thing to feel for yourself. And if you find that what I'm talking about makes a little bit of sense to you and you don't want to continue going to the pictures and spending a fortune to watch a film you don't really want, have a look up there and see the kind of movies that I've been able to pick up and see what kind of price I'm spending too. You'll find you'll be in pocket as well. I'll see you next time.